Hello and welcome back to the Air Armoury. I'm JRH and today I'm going to be discussing and doing a bit of plinking. So, plinking's on the agenda for today. Well, that's probably not the best title for the video, as this is more generally about airgun shooting that isn't HFT, competitive shooting or hunting. Now, I don't want to alienate anyone or tread on any toes, but I find there's a fair bit of snobbery surrounding airgunning from a variety of sources, including the airgun press, manufacturers and some shooters themselves, in that 80 to 90% of articles, reviews, videos and products are tailored towards competitive shooting or hunting. Anyone who subscribes to the Air Armoury or has seen any of my other videos will know that I'm passionate about plinking, which is often the overlooked and unloved child of airgunning. But for me, plinking is by far the most fun way of shooting, whether that's shooting at tin cans, paper targets or reactive targets. I find that plinking is a way of shooting that really allows you to enjoy shooting. There's no pressure or rules or anything. When I'm plinking, I'm not bothered if I miss a target, it just means I get the chance to take another shot. I'm sure many of you are familiar with Hickok45 on YouTube. If not, I highly recommend his channel. He's a guy in Tennessee who makes firearm videos. And I was recently watching one of his videos from May 2015 on cowboy action shooting, and he said something in that video that I can really relate to, in that he could still shoot in competitions and do well, but rather than wait around all day for his turn to shoot in a prescribed way, he'd rather stay at home and shoot all day long however he wants. And really that's the kind of mentality that has drawn me towards plinking rather than competitive shooting or hunting. Whilst I've always had these views on shooting, what actually prompted me to make a video was an article I read in an Airgun magazine a few years ago. Now, I didn't have the channel at the time, but I was thinking about starting up and thought I might one day make a video on plinking, so I saved the article, which you can see I have in front of me here. Now, it's from the August 2014 issue of Airgun magazine, and it's an excellent article called Off Form by one of their regular contributors, Andy McLaughlin. And in the article, Andy talks about how he used to predominantly participate in HFT and hunting, but as he realised that he was past his best, he rediscovers his enjoyment of plinking with classic spring piston and CO2 rifles. It was really good to see someone in a position of influence kind of bestowing the virtues of plinking, and it was great that it was published in a national airgun magazine. But at the same time, whilst the article didn't explicitly state it, I got the impression that it kind of implied that plinking required stepping back from top quality equipment, things like PCPs. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking the article, and I too love plinking with old Springers and CO2 guns, but he mentions in the article that his HFT rifle and scope setup cost £2,000, and my point really is that there's no reason why that same kind of setup can't be enjoyed for plinking. For me though, shooting is only half the reason I like airgunning, and the other half is the guns themselves. Now, as you can see, I've got a selection of guns out here. First I have my Webley Senior pistol and my SMK QB78 Deluxe. Both of those I've made videos on before, and I'll put links to those in the description. And they are both what you might consider kind of standard issue plinking guns. They're both fun and inexpensive, but lack that critical accuracy or power needed for hunting or competition use. Now, I genuinely love both of those guns. I think they're actually two of my favourite ones I've ever owned. But like what I was saying about the magazine article earlier on, just because I'm plinking, it doesn't mean I have to limit myself to those kinds of guns. Next I have a couple of rifles out which I've been using for plinking a lot recently. First of all, I've got my Air Arms TX200 Mark III, which is a high quality all-round good underlever rifle, which is a favourite amongst those wanting to hunt with a spring piston rifle. And then next I have my CZ VZ47, which is a bolt action military training rifle built for the Czechoslovakian army in the late 40s. Now, clearly neither of those two guns are designed with plinking in mind, but if plinking is all about enjoying shooting, why shouldn't you enjoy that using the best equipment you can get hold of? Now, because I'm just plinking informally for my own enjoyment, I can do it the way I want, which means I don't have to automatically mount the scope. Now, I've said a number of times on the Air Armoury before that I far prefer using open sights. I think they're much more fun and more rewarding when you hit your target. The problem seems to be though that the better the gun, the less likely it is to have open sights. And that's one of the things I love about Hatsan, which is why I'm giving them a quick mention here. They offer fibre optic open sights, at least as an optional extra for just about all of their guns. I have here my AT-4410, which as you can see I have open sights fitted to, and Hatsan are just about one of the only companies that actually make open sights for a PCP rifle. Now, I really like companies like Air Arms and Daystate, but how about some open sights? Here I've got a selection of targets that I often use for plinking. First of all, I've got a standard pellet trap with paper targets, and you don't have to be limited to standard targets like that. I've also got dartboard ones and zombie ones. Now, as well as paper targets, I've also got my magnetic knockdown trap. I've got some chalk discs, and I've also got a few of those Firebird exploding targets left. Now, as well as the kind of proper targets, I've also got tin cans, toy cars and plastic toy soldiers. Really, as long as you do it safely, you can make a plinking target out of just about anything. And I'm going to be taking a few shots at these things in a minute. Got some of my targets set up, so I'm going to back up about 10 metres and do some plinking. I'm going to be using my Air Arms TX200 Mark III, which I showed you earlier on, and with that I'm just going to be using some cheap Milbro Jet pointed pellets. Right, let's have some fun. I really hope this video isn't construed the wrong way, as I have nothing against competitive shooting or hunting, and I'd fully encourage everyone to take part in them, especially if that's the way you enjoy shooting. All I'm saying really is that I, like many other air gunners, love the simple joys of plinking, whether that be in a small back garden with a over-the-counter CO2 or break barrel pistol, or on hundreds of acres with an FAC PCP rifle. I think I speak for all of us in saying I just like it to be given a bit more recognition in the world of air guns, especially as plinking can be an accessible and inexpensive way of shooting and a great way of attracting new shooters to air guns. Obviously I've just been expressing my own opinion in this video, but I hope other shooters out there share my view on the subject. Now, I hope you've enjoyed the video and have been inspired to take a few minutes out of your day to enjoy a bit of plinking, and leave a comment below if you'd like to share your plinking equipment and setup. So, thanks for watching, be sure to check out the other Air Armoury videos and subscribe to the channel, and until next time, keep your arms in the air.